Secretary Walker, you'd mentioned about, in a discussion with Senator Robinson about registered apprenticeship programs, and there are some roadblocks there. Could you go into some details about that? What are the roadblocks that you're experiencing on getting people in?
So,
For the OVR.
For the OVR,
Sorry.
thank you. You know, I think that, this is my guess, I think that many of us, all of us, have some preconceived notions. I grew up in a home where my father had a neuromuscular degenerative disease, so he went from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. My father had passed in 2009, but I still see the world in terms of, is the doorway wide enough for a wheelchair? And I think that, you know, many people underestimate the abilities of people who are differently abled. And the fact of the matter is with accommodation, we can make sure that everybody has, virtually everybody has an opportunity. So I think that perhaps it's been hard for traditional apprenticeship programs to consider people who may be referred from the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. And it's just,
Can I ask,
yeah.
Do you guys have placement counselors in the district offices anymore? I mean, my dad was one, but my point is, the placement counselors, what my dad devoted himself to, because he had broken his back, OVR and workers' comp, helped him get his degree. And he was breaking down those types of barriers and getting through to industry. And his retention rate after 5 years, because he was going into the jobs, he was going into the workforces. Are we not doing that with the workforce or the apprentice program locations? Are we not doing that?
So there is certainly counseling happening, individual counseling. The issue is just getting the programs to work with OVR. That's a personal passion of mine, so I'm starting to try to break, yeah. So maybe we can both start making some phone calls, that would be great. But I think that it's one of those things that once we show that something is possible, it often becomes a sort of a snowball effect. So I would love for us to talk about this more, because I think it's just really important that these key programs that get people into, you know, really solid family-sustaining jobs.
Zippo and Case up in Bradford, they were some of my dad's favorite workers, because once he got those people in there, they worked.
Right.
And so we need to make sure that not just the businesses, but the training, the apprentice programs start learning.
Well, and we have such success in businesses in getting our folks from OVR in, and a shout out to the First Lady, who has really made a passion of making opportunities for individuals with disabilities. She's really opened a number of doors for us, and we're excited about that. But it's the apprenticeship programs that I just want to get people into. I would love to follow up with you and see if we can figure out how to get this done.
Yes. I want to go to something else. My prepared questions, a lot of people already asked, but I'm going to, one other area we touched on, the trade programs within the middle schools. Up at St. Mary's High School, St. Mary's and Bradford High Schools are very active with that. They're working with their communities. Got a challenge coin here for the 988 program, the suicide awareness that the St. Mary's kids did in conjunction with Press Metal Industries and the Elkin Cameron Suicide Prevention Task Force. The neat thing is with those programs, there's so many different elements to having trades taught in the middle schools. They get their hands on things, they're doing hands-on training, they're learning skills that use different parts of the brain that you don't get in a traditional classroom environment. And making the connections between the theory and the application are huge. And when you get a young person at that age doing it, I think it starts their brain working towards that in a way that is, it's going to benefit them for years. The drafting course that I took when I was in 7th or 8th grade, I can't remember which, along with the applied physics that I learned later in high school, when I got into doing accident reconstruction, the ability to use a 3-sided ruler and do scale diagrams and all that. And then later at Vandenberg, when I was doing construction and design for the involved with the construction and design things, I was able to read blueprints and do things and brought stuff up. I was able to be an active contributor. You don't realize a lot of the time how much that gives you a basis when you get later on in your career, but they're critical. And like I said, it gets the brain function in a way that I've found very beneficial. So thank you.